On July 17th, the Kremlin announced that it was withdrawing from the grain deal. With this step, Russia has created a real threat of famine in Africa, just 10 days before the announced start of the Russia-Africa summit in St. Petersburg. This is another slap in the face of African leaders, after the missile attack on Kyiv during their visit on June 16th. The best reaction on their part would be to refuse to travel to Russia. Obviously, Putin's Russia is trying to make famine its weapon in the international arena. It is fact that Ukraine is not abandoning its grain deal with Turkey and the UN. It counts on international support to extend the operation of the sea corridor, even without the participation of Russia. The extension of the grain deal is in the interests of the international community. Ukrainian food solves global problems of mankind. Previously, Russia reinforced its blackmail by disrupting the grain deal with terrorist attacks on Odessa port infrastructure of Odessa. Turkish side admitted that Russia, through its sabotage of inspections, was always making efforts to paralyze the activities of the grain corridor even without formally canceling the agreement. Moreover, Russia is carrying out ecocide in Ukraine, which poses a threat to all mankind. The last ones, the blowing up of the dam at the Kakhovka Dam and the Tolyatti-Odessa ammonia pipeline, have already caused irreparable damage to the environment. Russia's ruining of the Kakhovka Dam is Europe's most significant environmental and humanitarian disaster in decades. There can be no doubt that it was Russia who blew up the dam. Only Russian forces had the motives and the means to cause such destruction. Numerous cases of flora and fauna damage in the region have been reported. Crops in the Kherson, Zaporizhzhia and Dnipropetrovsk regions are under threat, further jeopardizing global food security. The consequences of the Russian terrorist act will be felt far beyond Ukraine. Concessions to the Kremlin will not lead to the stable functioning of the grain corridor, but will only encourage the subsequent requirements for the revision of the deal. It seems like Russia is simply interested to bring instability to Africa. Russian Wagner private military company will get a lot of benefits in case of hunger and war in Africa. Don't forget that they are making money for Russia all over the world where people dies. Russia don't need strong and united Africa because they will not be capable to suck resources from prosperous states. African high officials are suspiciously silent about that on June 16th, on the day of the visit of the delegation of South Africa, Zambia, Senegal, the Comoros, Egypt, and Uganda to Ukraine. Russia carried out a massive shelling of Kyiv using Kinzhal and caliber missiles. The shelling of the African delegation visiting with peace proposals shows that Russia does not really want peace. With its missile provocation against African officials, the Kremlin has shown its contempt for African countries. This should be considered by those invited to the Russia-Africa Forum on July 26 to 29 in St. Petersburg.